all over the world playing paintball, from Turkey to Orlando to Australia to Paris to London. You know, to Thailand, to Malaysia, wherever you can go for paintball. You know, I've been there. South America, Venezuela. You know, wherever paintball can take you. You know, paintball has taken me, and you know, I've been blessed that paintball has been that kind of, you know, lean on for me in my career. But I can say, you know, it's definitely a tough living. I wouldn't suggest trying to pursue it. You know, for all the kids out there who want to play pro and try and do it for a living, stay in school. That's the best advice that I could definitely give you. This year, the best memory, hands down, is definitely Chicago and how we won that against Dynasty. Like, I don't know if I had a better feeling about that. Like, even, I think that tournament was just, I was more mentally drained than all World Cups combined. Only because, like, we came back from, what was it, 5-2? 5-2, we brought it to overtime, hung the flag with, what, 2 seconds left? Something ridiculous like that. And then Malloy wins a one-on-one in overtime and bunkers Stephen Pitt. Bunkers him in overtime. How does that happen? You know what I mean? Like, it couldn't have been laid out any better than that. And hands down, like, that was the biggest tournament for myself and I think for Russian Legion, and all the years that they've been in the tournaments, and, you know, all the players. I'm sure they could say the same, that tournament was probably our best and biggest win, for sure.
How would you sum up your 2011 season so far up to Cup?
Well, there is saying that has been proved by us several times. It's easy to get to the top, but it's really hard to control that top. And I guess that every pro team in every type of sports knows that as no one else. And usually the trick is that you have all the same people, you have that fantastic achievement behind your back, and it's really hard to find a motivation for the same people to get this achievement once again, especially when that people are together all of their time, almost all of their time. That explains why cool rock bands usually break up, right? So that's the thing that was supposed to happen to us, but luckily didn't happen overall. But still, it's really hard to get all people, all of their minds together in the one moment to play the same as we played in the 2010 season. Because too many arguments, too many discommunications, too many misunderstandings in between people, the same people that used to be together. So anyways, we're strong. Anyways, Russian Legion, doesn't matter what people are playing in it, still on top. But that season was not that easy, like 2009 and 2010 seasons, because of that.
The motivation.
Different directions for some people going, not together with the team, but maybe more personally. So I don't like that by myself. I love my team. I'm doing everything the best for my team. And I can't stand when other people are doing it in a different way. So just I still love my team, still wish the best for us in the very last tournament of 2011 season. I really hope that all of our guys can easily leave their arguments behind and get focused as never before to that cup, because that cup is not going to be easy for us at all. Remember my words. You see the videos, how it's going to be.
you could sum up last year up until Cup, or this year up until Cup, like say,
Okay.
What,
All right.
What was good about Cup, or what was good about this year? What was bad about this year? What? I mean, how do you feel? I mean, are you glad?
You know, overall, I guess the year was pretty good. You know, you can't. What do we take? 2 seconds, a first, and then we did terribly bad in, or was it New Jersey? Oh, 1 and 3, yeah, 1 and 3. That was super bad. But I mean, you can a PSP, a pro PSP event it's hard to win those things, man. You got to put a lot into it, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and just going through, like, every team in the division is good, and at any moment can beat you. And then once you beat, you know, all those other teams, you gotta get to damage, and you gotta get through Dynasty, and it's after you get through those, it's just you're mentally drained. But all in all, I think Russian Legion had a good year, and you know, you couldn't ask for a better year. Like I said, we won Chicago, and that was one of the greatest wins. You know, people will probably be talking about that for forever. But you know, a second in Galveston, and then second at World Cup, and obviously, you know, we wanted a three-peat in World Cup, and you know, win 3 in a row. But you know, like I said, they're tough to win, and especially World Cup. Like that's the killer one to win. But you know, you can't be mad at it, at a second place at World Cup.
So what about Texas? How was Texas for you?
From one hand, it was so easy. Like, we just played 2 days and then finals. I realized myself in the finals so quick that I have never used myself before, right? Because before that you had like 4 days of tournament and now only 3 days of tournament. Everything is so compressed. So that's why we stepped out to the finals and we saw Dynasty there once again that we have beaten before in the prelims. I guess that everybody were relaxed and over to sure about that we gotta beat those guys because we already done it. And that's the worst thing that can happen to us. That happens to us from one season to another. Everybody feels that, but no one's saying that, hey guys, get back. It's a whole new tournament, it's a whole new game. They are different. Now they know what to do against you. So keep your ass tight and do your job, right? But unfortunately, there was no one to tell us that, and we were not that focused to remember that by ourselves. That's why we have been beaten by them that bad over there. And Texas was not in our favor, unfortunately.
So from Texas, you went straight to
Chicago.
Chicago.
And Chicago, traditionally for us, is not a really easy tournament. And the finals in Chicago showed that this is true, that Dynasty got their chemical situation together, like their old chemics that's supposed to be 6 or even 7 years ago. And they were really hard to be killed at the field, but we were prepared because we've got a Texas behind our backs. We were prepared. We've learned our lessons really well. We talked together. Everybody were focused. That's why the team was playing that well over there. Individuals were making a fantastic job. Justin Rebecca making that super historical move ever. With the flag when Oliver was already cheering his victory in front of his stands behind his back. Remember that, right? So that's how it happened.
And then straight from Chicago, you went to New Jersey.
New Jersey, that's another trick, because when you're on top, you think, okay, you're the boss, right? You're the monster. You can easily come and go through damage. Okay, let's go through damage. But we got 2 snakes. We didn't have like good pairs playing together because these squads were mixing too much during the pre-tournament practice. So that's why our heads were not ready for even getting out from prelims. And that things usually happen to us because that happened to us in 2008 season and in 2007 season. Like the 4th event was usually down for us after a big victory in the 2nd tournament of the season. So that has happened to us again. And now We are, after the horrible lose over here in Florida, practiced 4 days before the Cup. Had a really good chance of practicing against Infamous, Nexus, Texas Storm guys. We've done some really good exercises by ourselves about that field. We've had the final team meeting today at the fields right after walking around the field. And I must be honest that I have that feeling. I have a feeling where I believe my partners and I believe my boys that we're gonna be different, way different from New Jersey fans.
You got that fire? You got that fire now?
It's not a fire. The fire was in 2009. It's not that fire that we used to have, but we're still ready to prove that we're not just one of the good teams. We are the best guys. That's what we're ready to prove, and that's what everybody else wants to prove right now. That's what I saw in the eyes of my boys today.
I feel like without Russian Legion, I don't know if I would be in the place that I am now. I don't know if I would be developed, if I would be the player that I am right now. So I could, give all my thanks to Russian Legion and, the coaches helping me out and playing with all the guys on that team. It's been amazing, playing with these guys, and whether I play with them, next year or not, they'll always definitely have a place in my heart like a family.